I awakened to God class, the immortal swordsman of infinite blades, and at that exact moment, my fiancée called me the most pathetic good-for-nothing in the world. She humiliated me in public, demanded that I break off the engagement, and not even an hour later, she was already hanging on Connor's arm. All because Connor had awakened an ultra-rare class, Divine Dual-Element Mage. With a single flick of his fingers, he could flip an entire battlefield. Meanwhile, I stood there clutching a wooden sword and a ruined reputation. My class, Swordsman, is despised by everyone. To achieve anything with it, you have to pour gold like water. Skill books, equipment, resources without end. My family could barely make ends meet, so the whole world was convinced I would amount to nothing. But I only smile coldly, because none of them know about my talent. Infinite Blade Intent. The world's only hidden class. Every swordsman skill book that falls into my hands transforms into an immortal swordsman technique. 10 Directions Intent. Descent of 10,000 Blades. Sword Flight. Each of these abilities can split the sky and tear the earth asunder. And the most beautiful part? Since the swordsman is considered the most worthless class in the world, their skill books cost next to nothing. Literal trash on the market. Yet every scrap of that trash becomes a deadly immortal technique in my hands. This golden boy Connor wouldn't survive even half of one of my strikes. Even those clad in epic and mythic gear are nothing more than ants before my power. And those short-sighted fools who humiliated me? I will make every last one of them kneel before me. But first, I need time. I possess immense power, yet I have not fully mastered it. Only 2 weeks remain until the entrance exam for the Federal Military Academy, and I must quickly gauge my true combat strength. The fastest way is live combat inside a dungeon. The next day I arrive at the Dark Forest. A beginner dungeon. Monsters range from level 1 to 10, laughably weak compared to what I have become. I chose this place for 2 reasons. First, to test my abilities in actual battle. Second, to clear the entire Dark Forest solo, because solo clearing a dungeon rewards mythic equipment, with no level requirements, growing alongside you, and carrying rare, devastating stat bonuses. Every professional in the world goes mad for it. Yet since the arrival of the rules, no one has ever solo cleared a dungeon of their own level. Many tried, many died. The moment I step across the dungeon threshold, the rules reshape my equipment. My clothes turn into tattered rags, and a shabby wooden sword appears in my hand. Head to toe, I look like a pauper. I've barely taken a few steps when I spot a team of 10 people locked in battle ahead. In the center, Connor, pressed against his side. My former fiancée. The instant Leia notices my wretched appearance, her face twists with disgust. "Are you stalking me?" She spits with open contempt. I nearly grind my teeth. "You're not worth stalking," I reply coldly. Leia chokes on rage and swings to slap me. But I catch her wrist midair without effort. She cries out in pain and immediately turns to Connor with a pitiful look. Connor frowns. "Leon, you're going too far." I smile inwardly, ready to turn against me for a woman. Fine. By now the monsters around us have already been slaughtered. Every gaze turns toward me. A warrior in decent armor sneers. "Connor, if you're dragging your little brother along, you'll have to pay extra. Otherwise, we're not doing this." Before I can speak, the others join in. "We don't carry dead weight. If you can't gear yourself properly, go plant potatoes. This isn't a joke." Listening to their mockery, I clench my fists. The world is exactly like that. Everyone bows to the strong and tramples the weak, especially when you carry the most despised class in existence. But sooner or later, they will all tremble at my feet. I take a deep breath and calm my thoughts. Then I simply walk forward without looking at them. "Want to die?" Connor calls coldly after me. "Connor, why are you even bothering?" I hear Leia's voice. "You'll play nanny today, but it won't last forever. He's a trash swordsman. Nothing will ever come of him." The corner of my mouth curves into a cold smirk. "Shut up," I say without turning. "Trash!" Connor's face darkens, ready to explode. But in the next instant, his expression freezes in pure shock. I lazily toss the cracked wooden sword into the air and murmur, "Blade light." In an instant, the piece of wood blooms against the wind, expanding into a gigantic blade 2.5 meters long, wreathed in shimmering light. Sword aura lashes outward in every direction. A furious vortex rises from nowhere. Then I leap upward and stand atop that blade. A streak of light tears through the sky, and I vanish, before anyone can even blink. After 2.5 seconds of dead silence, they finally regain their voices. "What was that? A swordsman? A swordsman flew on a sword. Where did that gigantic blade come from? Don't tell me he has mythic equipment." Every jaw hits the ground. Connor stands speechless. For the first time in his life, he has nothing to say. Leia still hasn't recovered, staring at the empty space where I had been. "This trash swordsman?" she whispers. "God, Father, what kind of monster did you make me let go?" Leia has no idea how strong I truly am. Even just flying on a sword would be enough to shake the entire Federation. Because no swordsman in history has ever taken to the skies. Yet I am already soaring on my blade toward the heart of the Dark Forest. Standing atop the colossal blade, my body radiates golden light like a sun gazing down upon creation. Sharp sword aura swirls around me. I unleash technique after technique as though they cost nothing. 10 Directions Intent. Descent of 10,000 blades. Thunderous roars shake the heavens. Blade energies cross and clash in the air, forcing the earth itself to tremble. Even Connor's team, 10 kilometers away, collapses under the endless pressure, struggling to breathe as they watch the entire Dark Forest become wrapped in layers of aura, weaving an infinite curtain of blades in the void. Then the boundless intent slowly converges into a single blinding sphere of light, with a deafening roar, and the darkness of the Dark Forest shatters beneath the strike. In an instant, the forest falls into complete silence. After a long pause, Connor finally mutters in confusion, "What just happened?" His team rushes toward the center. Along the way, they cannot believe their eyes. The entire forest is carpeted with corpses. Monster bodies lie everywhere, including elite specimens. From the very edge to the very center, not a single living creature remains. Connor stands in complete stupefaction. He saw Leon rise into the sky. But in the middle of such a massacre, could he possibly have survived? And at that exact moment, a dungeon notification rings in everyone's mind. Solo clear. Mythic equipment awarded. Everyone inside the dungeon. Every citizen of the Federation outside. Everyone freezes. In the next instant, the Federation explodes. In 20 years since the arrival of the rules, never. Not a single solo clear of a same-level dungeon. Until today. Federal legions and great houses urgently convene councils, each wanting to be the first to recruit this legendary fighter. Meanwhile, deep inside the dungeon, Connor's team finds me standing beside the boss's corpse, surrounded by cheap, low-level equipment. None of them suspect that I just solo cleared the dungeon and obtained legendary mythic gear, because it is completely hidden and gives nothing away. Connor steps up to me in 2 strides. "How did you fly on a sword?" My lips twitch. I barely restrain the urge to mock the brother who has always looked down on me, but there is no need to reveal my cards. "I apparently have a talent for sword flight," I say simply. Everyone frowns. No one has ever heard of such a talent, but they don't press. The world is full of strange abilities. Connor points at the boss's body. "Leon, was that you?" I shake my head. "Just look at me. How could I possibly be stronger than you? A dual-element mage." Their faces instantly twist with contempt. Connor doesn't think twice. So he can fly, so what? That's still not real power. Compared to his class, Leon is still trash. He turns and leads his team away. 2.5 days later, at the entrance to the Dark Forest, I sell all the materials and skill books from my inventory at low prices, clearing everything out. I keep only one book, Frostblade Art. 5 days later, I arrive at the level 50 dungeon, Flame Ridge, the most lethal place for first-rank professionals. Elite monsters everywhere, level 50 fire dragons, enemies at every turn. Even second and third-rank teams suffer massive losses here. Waiting at the outer perimeter is a 6-person team. An extravagant lineup. 3 second-rank professionals lead the group, their equipment gleaming. I appear beside them in a streak of light. The girl in the team gasps, because my equipment looks completely ordinary and my level 15. How can someone at level 15 even enter a level 50 Flame Ridge? The girl is no ordinary person. She is Sophie, eldest daughter of the Aurelius clan, the most powerful house in the Federation, a dual attribute mage. Just like Connor, one set of her equipment costs 8 million gold, but for the Aureliuses, 8 million is a drop in the ocean. Before I can even look at her properly, a warrior from the team jabs a finger into my chest. His polished armor shines to match his self-satisfied face. "Kid, tired of living? Who dragged you here?" The others immediately pile on with mockery. I remain calm, mentally calculating the fastest route to clear the ridge. I had been about to answer, thinking Sophie seemed polite, but then these blind dogs started barking, and I decided not to waste time on them. "Are you deaf or mute?" the warrior barks again. "If that's the case, I can help you leave this place permanently." He swings his 2-handed sword. In the eyes of these rich brats, the poor are worthless. Murder only carries a small fine, but it might earn him a smile from a beautiful woman. And isn't that small price worth it? Everyone looks at me as though I am already dead, but in the next second, their jaws drop. The mage stares as if his eyes are about to pop out of his skull. All 6 freeze. I rise into the sky. My sword shoots upward, piercing the clouds. And an instant later, I stand atop Flame Ridge, proudly towering beneath the very heavens. The newly learned Frostblade art, having passed through Infinite Blade Intent, has transformed into Frost Intent Blade Mantle. This skill seems tailor-made for Flame Ridge. 1 swing, and 10 kilometers freeze solid. I unleash technique after technique. The temperature across the entire ridge plummets. 10 kilometers in every direction become a frozen wasteland. The 6 who had been gasping in flames only a minute ago now stand frozen like dogs. Each struggles against the crushing sword aura, shivering beneath the onslaught of frost. And then a notification sounds in everyone's mind. Solo clear, mythic equipment awarded. In a single moment, the entire Federation is stunned. The 6 inside the dungeon crane their heads upward, staring at the figure proudly standing beneath the clouds. A terrifying thought forms in their minds. Could it be that level 15 swordsman? Solo clearing Flame Ridge is unthinkable. Even the full elite of the Aurelius clan combined would not have dared attempt it. Sophie remains silent. She stands frozen in place, eyes locked on the golden figure in the heavens. Her gaze holds admiration bordering on obsession. This shock once again rocks the Federation. The legions and great houses still have not found a single clue about who cleared the Dark Forest 3 days ago, and now, only 5 days later, someone has taken Flame Ridge, a death zone for first-rank professionals. It shatters every conceivable notion of what is possible. Federal legions and great houses again convene emergency councils, trying to locate this godlike fighter. It occurs to no one that both clears were performed by the same person, and certainly no one could imagine that it was a first-rank swordsman who appears to be level 15. That same evening at the family dinner, Father continuously piles food onto Connor's plate, encouraging him before tomorrow's exam at the military academy. Connor is brimming with confidence. He is one of only 5 dual attribute mages since the arrival of the rules. Such a thing happens once in a lifetime. I am simply ignored. Mother secretly places a piece of meat on my plate. Father immediately burns her with a glare. He's an adult. He could show at least a little respect. Your brother has an exam tomorrow. Be sensible. Don't get in the way. The blatant hypocrisy in Father's words makes my body tremble slightly. Bitterness floods my heart. I force out a bitter chuckle. I'm taking the exam too. Father snorts. Are you trying to disgrace me? Something inside me snaps. I said I'm going, and no one tells me otherwise. I stand and leave without looking back. How dare you? Father roars behind me. Mother quickly steps between us, and eventually Father has to sit back down, puffing with anger. From my room, I hear Father and Connor talking, and those words keep me from sleeping at all. They have already arranged everything with Leia's family. As soon as Connor enters the Sacred Military Academy, they will officially become engaged. It doesn't fit in my head. She was supposed to be my fiancée. Now she will become my brother's wife. The next day, students from all across the Blue Star gather at the gates of the Federal Military Academy. Connor and I are among them. Connor, over here! A melodic voice. Sophie approaches us with graceful steps, accompanied by the Aurelius clan's personal guards. Seeing me, she visibly freezes. It's you! Connor looks at her in surprise. Lady Sophie, you know my brother? Only then does Sophie realize I am Connor's older brother. At that moment, another bright voice rings out. And Leia runs up to Connor, taking his arm. I immediately turn away. I have no desire to see this gold digger, and I meet Sophie's gaze. She studies me with curiosity. Level 18 swordsman, but in Flame Ridge he was level 15, and the solo clear happened exactly then. The thought flashes and dies. Absurd. At his level, it's impossible. Leia looks at me with a crooked smirk. You came too? Don't tell me you actually think you can get into the military academy. I sweep my gaze over her. None of your business. Who are you to look down on me? Connor panics. Afraid we'll clash and he'll have to stand in the middle. He intervenes. Enough, both of you. I'm going to register. He grabs Leia's hand and pulls her toward the counter. I smile coldly and follow. The instructor at registration glances at my mediocre stats and level 18. And waves a dismissive hand. Kid, this isn't an ordinary school. This is the Federal Military Academy. Registration fee, 3,000 gold. I silently take out 3,000 and place it on the table. The instructor looks surprised but says nothing. He takes the gold and fills out the documents. Connor doesn't even notice that I registered, but Sophie watches my every move. 3,000 gold is an enormous sum for ordinary people. Connor needed family support to pay the fee. I didn't even blink. He's clearly not as simple as he looks. After registration, the exam itself begins. In the central square, a small level 30 dungeon has been deployed. Unlike a real one, there is no threat to life. You simply have to kill all the monsters inside the illusion. On the examiner's command, candidates enter one by one. Out of 300 candidates, only 12 barely pass. The examiners shake their heads. This year's batch is weak. Then Connor steps forward. With his 2 attributes, he moves through the dungeon as though no one is there. He reaches the boss chamber in just a few minutes. The crowd gasps. Against a boss 5 levels above him, Connor dispatches it in less than a minute. Cheers of excitement erupt across the field. The Aureliuses who sponsored Connor are delighted. This result adds another brick to their future achievements. Finally, my turn. Last, because the instructor at registration decided I was weak and put me at the very end. Connor stares in disbelief when he sees me approach the entrance. He can't believe I actually registered. Sophie's face shows anticipation, a subtle, unexplainable complexity in her gaze. She secretly wonders, what if it really is him? Leia watches and sneers. Connor, did your parents really spend the wedding money to sign your brother up? Connor has nothing to say. The examiner steps forward and announces loudly, Final candidate, Leon, class, swordsman, level 18. The crowd erupts in laughter. This guy has lost his mind. A level 18 swordsman with no equipment came here to embarrass himself. If he can do it at 18, I can do it at 20. What a circus. The live broadcast is also drowning in mockery. Everyone is certain. I am just a joke. Level 18 against a virtual level 30 dungeon, especially with such ordinary stats. Theoretically impossible. But against all doubt, mockery, and cold stares, I calmly enter the dungeon. I look around. An imitation of the dark forest. A forest shrouded in mist. The corner of my mouth lifts. I walk forward without hesitation, and immediately the forest fills with screams. Thousands of birds burst into the sky. The crowd gasps. My figure has vanished, as though something is jamming the image. Only my figure is blurred. Everything else remains crystal clear. Suddenly a beam of light flares deep in the forest, flooding the entire illusion with blinding radiance. All spectators squeeze their eyes shut. The next instant, a deafening roar. A shockwave rolls across the square. After the roar, the illusory dungeon in the center of the square completely disappears. Only I remain. Standing in the center, hands clasped behind my back in shimmering light. The field explodes. God, he destroyed the entire dungeon. Does that count as a clear? And that technique? Splitting the sky, tearing the earth? What class is that even? Connor stares at me with tightly pressed lips. He cannot understand how a trash swordsman cleared it so easily. Maybe he switched classes? No, he refuses to believe it. Just a coincidence. He is a rare dual-element mage. His clear speed should not lose to a trash swordsman. Leia stands with her mouth open. Could I have been wrong? Could Leon actually be the strongest? Sophie looks at me with smiling eyes. Admiration is written openly on her face. But what none of them know, I have already reached second rank, level 20. Clearing Flame Ridge sharply increased my experience and equipment. Only I know my real level, so everyone thinks I am still level 18 of the first rank. Plus, mythic orange rank equipment that dropped from the dungeon, which multiplied my power. The examiners stand in stunned silence. Can a swordsman possess such strength? The proctor announces loudly, Exam complete. The list of candidates who passed the preliminary selection has been determined. The next stage is in 3 months. All below 4th rank are automatically eliminated. Connor approaches me with a strained smile. Congratulations, Leon, but this is only the preliminary round. I hope you reach 4th rank in 3 months. Then we'll finally see who's stronger. His logic is simple. Behind him stands a powerful family and personal instructors. 4th rank is guaranteed for him. But me, for all my colossal combat power, there is not a single great house willing to invest in a random swordsman. That is my greatest weakness. I do not answer. I notice reporters closing in from all sides. I frown, and immediately soar away on sword flight. The crowd explodes. Who is he? He's flying. Is that the one who cleared Flame Ridge? If so, he fully deserves the title of Sword God. Sophie watches me go with a complicated expression. How can someone this strong exist? And I've never heard of him. If only we could recruit him. Connor boils with anger. Fists clenched. His class is already this powerful, yet he still loses to Leon. Unacceptable. Just wait. In 3 months, I'll show you the gap between us. After I leave the exam grounds, I feel no particular joy at passing the preliminary selection. Ahead lie 3 months until the next round, and I need to reach 4th rank. That means non-stop leveling. I begin counting the equipment that dropped. Purple rank, 1,425 pieces. Blue, 658. Cyan, 85. Green, 9. Orange, 2. Most ordinary people wear purple and blue. A purple 2nd rank item costs several hundred to 1,000 gold. Blue, several thousand. Cyan, already tens of thousands and in short supply. Altogether, my assets exceed 1 million gold. But what truly interests me are 2 mythic items. Bow of Darkness, orange rank, mythic equipment, attack plus 1,000, attack speed plus 60%, crit plus 20%, armor penetration plus 20, passive skill Dark Shackles. Immobilizes the target from the depths of darkness. Extremely low drop rate. Chance to obtain from clearing the Dark Forest. After reading these stats, my breathing quickens. On the market, this would easily sell for 10 million gold. Archers would sell their last possessions and tear each other's throats out for it. And also, Flame King's Blade. Orange rank, attack plus 1,000, attack speed plus 50%, crit plus 20%, armor penetration plus 20, passive skill Flame. Deals 300 true damage per second, scaling with level. The blade itself burns with raging fire. Extremely low drop rate. I am shocked once again. This is the only Flame King's Blade in the entire world. And both clears gave me mythic weapons. Bow of Darkness, Flame King's Blade. The gods of RNG are clearly on my side. The bow doesn't suit my class. I'll sell it. If everything goes well, I'll be a multi-millionaire, which by local standards already makes me solid middle class. Money seems easy, but only for me. Everyone else, to clear a dungeon, has to raise entire guilds or send armies. And the expenses are colossal. Even mythic equipment wouldn't cover the costs. Only someone with my insane talent can clear without costs. And no one else can replicate it. I cannot help but smirk. A true jackpot. Conservative estimate, more than 20 million gold. Returning home, I find father, mother, and Connor watching the news. On the screen, a faceless figure soaring rapidly into the sky, while the residual shockwave sweeps every last monster from the mountain. Incredible, Mother exhales. This person, even just the aftershock of the explosion, wiped out every living thing on the mountain. Father nods, and for once there is respect in his voice. His combat powers is truly unfathomable. I stand frozen. Wait, that's me. Leon, you have no idea, Connor says excitedly. I was there in person today. I saw that guy up close. Absolutely insane. So strong it's terrifying. If you had been there, your jaw would have hit the floor. And with all that, ordinary weapons in his hands. Connor grows more worked up, as though he himself were the hero on the screen. I listen and don't know whether to laugh or cry. I never thought I would end up in the news under the name Sword God. I'm only 2nd rank. I'm still very far from such a title, but the whole world has already accepted the figure on screen as a supreme master. In all my life, Father says with uncharacteristic seriousness, this is the first time I've seen anything like it, clearing an entire golden dungeon alone with an ordinary sword. It's beyond comprehension. Connor nods with burning eyes. My instructor said today, one sword god is equal in power to an entire guild or noble house. If any ordinary faction manages to recruit him, they will instantly rise to the top of the continent. He sighs with regret. It's just a shame that by the time we got there, he had already disappeared. I sit and quietly think to myself, well, it really wasn't anything special. I just wanted to test Descent of 10,000 Blades. And this is what came of it. Now the entire Federation is looking for me. Connor proudly announces, Mom, Dad, I passed the preliminary selection for the military academy. My parents light up. I casually mention that I passed too. Father's brow immediately furrows. How could a swordsman even pass the test? He bores into me with a suspicious glare. Did you cheat? Use some dirty trick? In his head, a swordsman is an eternal day laborer, incapable of anything worthwhile. Darkness fills my gaze. I had expected praise from my family. I received an accusation. Connor was there, I say evenly. If you don't believe me, ask him. When all eyes turn to Connor, he fidgets and looks away, says nothing. Father snorts with contempt. Passing doesn't make you special. Swordsman is a fundamentally unsuitable class for a poor family like ours. Only Connor will bring glory to the Lin family. Mother tugs Father's sleeve. Can you speak more quietly? Leon passed. We should be happy for him. What kind of person grows up to be a swordsman? Father explodes. It's a class that devours gold by the mountain. Who would invest in it? But our Connor has dual magic. There's already a line of sponsors waiting for him. It's like heaven and earth. My heart sinks like a stone. So that's how little I mean to father. But it is precisely this that ignites the fire inside me. I will enter the Sacred Military Academy. I will reach 4th rank. On my own, without anyone's help. At this moment, I make a quiet, firm decision. Leave home, rent my own place, live alone, spend every minute on training and leveling. Staying here is pure torture. Connor, beaming, announces another piece of news. The Aureliuses have signed a contract with him and even gifted him a villa. He offers to move the whole family there. Joy appears on father's face. I say, I'm not going. Mother looks at me anxiously. I am already preparing some explanation. But father cuts in. No need. Let him stay and clean up the old house. The next morning I leave early. Planning to sell equipment and use the proceeds to move, I head to the luxurious commercial district to sell the Bow of Darkness. The moment I step inside, a beautiful woman in professional attire approaches me. Are you buying or selling? Her name is Ruby. Manager of the luxurious district. She smiles, studying me. In her mind, her assessment is simple. Young, dressed head to toe in less than 1,000 gold, clearly inexperienced. Most likely just a passerby with nothing to do here. But I came prepared. I'm selling equipment, I say. Ruby loses her composure for a second. This cheap clothing? And he's selling equipment? She asks skeptically. My eyebrow rises. I have orange rank mythic equipment. Can you handle it? The words land. And Ruby's mind explodes. May I ask your name, sir? Please come with me to the VIP room. A few minutes later, I am sitting in the VIP room with a cup of coffee. Ruby still cannot fully believe it. Mythic equipment is counted on one hand. How could it have ended up with some young stranger? But in the very next moment, I pull out the Bow of Darkness. A wave of dark magic envelops the bow. The light in the room dims. Ruby stares, unable to look away. When she reads the bow's stats, her shock deepens further. Such an orange weapon has never existed before. A thought flashes through her mind. Yesterday, someone cleared the dark forest. Don't tell me you're the sword god. Ruby looks at me intently, silently begging me to confirm. The sword god is the hottest topic. Thousands of people are willing to pay fortunes for his identity, but it is still too early for me to become famous. It could cost me my life. I deny it. I say I am selling on someone else's behalf. What sword god? Ruby looks at me puzzled. Studies me, decides. No, it doesn't seem likely. I look barely 20, with that kind of power. Impossible. Then you must be personally acquainted with him, she says with barely audible envy. Does that concern you? I frown. Just tell me, are you buying or not? Ruby catches herself having crossed a line and immediately apologizes. She gives a firm promise not to disclose any information about me. If I decide to sell, they will immediately organize an auction. Decided, I say. Ruby takes the bow and is about to leave, but I stop her. I tell her I have something else as well, and I lay out on the table a huge pile of silver and gold rank equipment. Ruby looks at over 1,000 pieces of equipment, and her mouth opens again. Mythic is legend, but ordinary equipment is the foundation of the market. This pile would easily sell for 10 million gold. Now Ruby looks at me with completely different eyes. Good thing she didn't kick him out immediately. Otherwise, she would have lost such a commission. She reports, the ordinary equipment will sell quickly. The Bow of Darkness. A bit longer. She leaves the room. After she goes, I take out several green to platinum rank items I kept for myself. The first, Flame Breastplate, plus 500 defense, plus 50% strength. Passive Flame, tet. Sets enemies within range on fire, dealing 100 damage per second. Also, Flame Greaves, Flame Helm, a complete flame set. Combined with the Flame King's Blade, the entire appearance looks flawless. Incomparably better than my previous rags. I've already reached 2nd rank. This places me above the vast majority of ordinary professionals. I am truly entering the world of experts. If I unleash my killing techniques, I can fight even against a 3rd rank fighter. I step outside. Hey, long time no see. A voice behind me. A man in an expensive suit walks up to me with a smile, claps me on the shoulder, and his gaze instantly scans my clothing. Contempt flickers in his eyes. How have you been, brother? At the sight of him, my brow instinctively furrows. His name is Marvin, a classmate from high school. No warm memories. In school, I had a wealthy girlfriend. Marvin conspired with another guy, a rich heir, and betrayed me for his favor. Gradually pushed me out of the relationship. By the time I realized what was happening, it was too late. The relationship fell apart, but the scheme failed. The girl never became interested in the rich heir. Marvin betrayed a friend for him and gained nothing. All of his current success rests on one thing. He latched onto that rich young master and never let go. Before such a snake, one cannot show weakness. Marvin clearly understands what I am thinking. It doesn't bother him in the slightest. Not a trace of regret. To achieve what he has, sacrificing one friend, a small price. He would sell his own wife if it paid off. He smiles broadly. I honestly care about you, brother. I want to help. Young Master Lucas said, if you tell Mona to her face that you're not worthy of her, he'll give you a director position with a salary of 1 million gold a year. My eyes slowly narrow. Funny. As if I am capable of something like that. I coldly turn away. I have nothing more to say, for now. Leon, are you still thinking about Mona? He calls after me. Listen, let it go. Do you have any idea how strong she is now? And Lucas? They both reached 4th rank a long time ago. In 2 months, they're both taking the exam for the Sacred Military Academy. You and I? We're ordinary people. No comparison. Their life and ours, different dimensions. Just bow to Lucas. And 1 million gold a year is yours. Most people don't earn that much in a lifetime. I laugh coldly. Forget it. I'm not a trained dog like you. Seeing that I won't budge, Marvin gives up. He changes the subject, speaking with feigned regret. What a shame. At that moment, his secretary steps forward. Mr. Marvin, the Bow of Darkness auction is about to start. We need to hurry. I am slightly surprised. The bow appeared on the market only recently, and it has already attracted the attention of the largest factions. So Marvin is here representing the Lee clan for this weapon. I will obtain this weapon, no matter the cost, he says arrogantly. I was going to take you with me. Let you see what mythic equipment looks like. But since you refused, never mind. I barely hold back laughter. This man is about to introduce me to a weapon that I am selling. The joke of the century. Smirking coldly, I return to the VIP room. Ruby sees me and beams. Mr. Leon, the Bow of Darkness auction starts in half an hour. There will be several major buyers today. Major buyers. High final price, high commissions. She looks at me almost with feverish excitement, as though she sees a gold mine before her. Half an hour later, a live broadcast of the auction appears on the screen in the VIP room. All bids are in real time. Starting price of the Bow of Darkness. 10 million gold. Minimum increment, 500,000. The Aurelius is open with 11 million. In a short time, the price climbs to 13.5 million. Then the pace slows. Someone bids 15. And silence. I look at the name. Group League. Marvin's bid. I smirk. Ruby, can I participate in the bidding myself? Ruby loses her composure for a second. Technically, yes, but if no one outbids your bid, you will be obligated to buy it yourself and still pay the commission. I don't hesitate for a second. 19,500,000. Quickly, before the last round closes. Earlier I heard that the Lee clan wants the Bow of Darkness at any cost. That means Marvin will outbid, and I will drive him up to 20 million, squeezing every drop of blood from him. Ruby is stunned. Are you serious, Mr. Leon? If no one outbids, you're stuck with it yourself. I don't move from my spot. Submit it, quickly. Ruby calls. And on the screen, the number jumps from 15 million straight to 19.5. The entire auction hall freezes. With all its qualities, the Bow of Darkness cannot be worth that much. Ruby sweats. If no one outbids, the weapon returns to the seller, and the seller will owe the exchange several million in commission. The timer counts down. The auction is coming to an end. In another VIP room, Marvin turns white with rage. Which bastard is outbidding me? The Lee clan gave him a strict order. Return with the bow. They need the weapon to level one of their internal experts. 15 million was allocated for this. Now an unknown competitor has driven the price up, and Marvin has to dig into his own pocket. Failing the task means losing his position. The 5 million he has saved over the years will evaporate in an instant. His heart bleeds. I don't take my eyes off the screen, hoping my calculation is correct. In the final seconds, the number on the screen trembles. And settles at 20 million. I slowly exhale. Ruby looks at me in complete amazement. How did you know someone would definitely outbid? I only smile mysteriously. Secret. After the auction, Ruby reports the results. Over 1,000 pieces of ordinary equipment. 13,450,000 gold, plus 20 million from the auction, minus 10% commission. Total, 31,450,000 gold. Credited to the account. A few seconds later, a huge transfer arrives in the account. Now I have money for a house. But the first thing I do is open the trading platform and buy an extremely rare skill book. Sword Destruction Art. After activating Infinite Blade Intent, it transforms into Dance of the Sword Demon. A skill that boosts my power by 200% for a short time. My heart beats faster. No wonder the book is so rare. A skill of this power would be fought over. High-rank skill books are qualitative leaps in combat power. With Dance of the Sword Demon, I can fight above my level. And this skill also has an evolution stage. When it happens, the boost will no longer be 200%. It could easily reach 1000%. Finishing my business, I head straight to the Villa District and buy a mansion for 10 million gold. The saleswoman remains standing with her mouth open. Looking at my new home, I suddenly feel like calling mother. On the other end, I can hear her cooking. The rhythmic sound of a knife. Her voice is anxious. She hasn't been able to reach me all day. They were moving and she was worried. I hesitate, whether to tell her about the villa. And then I hear father's voice in the background. Where did that boy disappear to on moving day? He didn't even come to help. My gaze dulls, since my parents have already moved to the villa with Connor. There is no point telling them. I tell mother that I found a job with housing and meals, signed a 2.5-year contract, and will be living there. I ask her not to worry and that I will visit when I can. After talking a little, I hang up. I look at the empty villa. My heart feels heavy. A long silence. Then my gaze gradually hardens. Fight against the geniuses of the Sacred Military Academy. This will be interesting. Lucas, Lee, Mona, Connor, all of them will be there. That means I need to become stronger as fast as possible. I waste not another minute. I leave the villa immediately and head to a dungeon. Ghost Forest. This is a second rank dungeon. Significantly more dangerous than Flame Ridge. Every beast inside is second rank. The administrator confirms my second rank strength and lets me through. I look around. Hundreds of people stand at the outer edge, each radiating powerful aura. All are second rank experts, any one of whom could dominate Flame Ridge. But here, in a second rank dungeon, they are small fry. The administrator reads my thoughts and warns. This place is not only for second ranks, there are also third ranks. Because Ghost Forest itself is a fusion of maps. Second rank is only the outer rim. Once you enter the central zone, it becomes a third rank dungeon. The administrator looks at me with a smirk. Such a weak second-rank kid should get out of here while he still can. Otherwise, he's just cannon fodder. I refuse without hesitation, because in Ghost Forest there is the highest drop rate for second-rank items, including Sword Heart, which will sharply boost my power. The administrator shrugs and, out of politeness, assigns me to a strong team. Entry requires a group of exactly 5, a rule without exceptions. The moment the other 4 members see me, their faces darken. The administrator attached a weakling to them. I quickly assess them by their auras. Powerful second-rank fighters, level 50 and above. I only recently entered second rank. The gap is enormous. A young man with a bow over his shoulder mutters irritably, "What is this, a joke?" "They stuck us with dead weight." The priest adds with disgust, "He's level 20. He's just a burden." They openly insult me, as though I am not standing right there. The warrior in the team has already decided. They will not drag this helpless baggage along, but the administrator's decision cannot be changed, only if I voluntarily refuse, and then I will be reassigned. All 4 drill me with malicious glares, pressuring me to leave on my own. I stand with an impassive face, look back, and clearly have no intention of going anywhere. They frown. They quickly come up with a plan, take me inside, and abandon me. 4 is more than enough. They discuss it right in front of my nose, seeing no need to hide it. Survival of the fittest in its purest form, but their plan plays right into my hands. I prefer working alone anyway. This way it's much simpler. The moment we enter the dungeon, they immediately head in the opposite direction. That's exactly what I need. I activate Sword Flight and race into the distance. Second-rank items most often drop from bosses, so I will only hunt bosses. After 2.5 hours, I reach the Bone Mountains. Rumor has it that the most powerful second-rank boss lives here. Bone General. In these 2.5 hours, I killed 3 bosses, but none gave the item I needed. Not even decent equipment dropped, but my level rose to second rank, level 40, 4th boss location. Just as I am about to enter, I hear footsteps behind me. I turn around. A group of 5 people. In front, a young man with a staff wearing a blue mage hat. Next to him, an elderly mage in black robes. Second rank, level 90. A mentor, clearly. Behind them, 3 more. And 2 of those 3 I know all too well. My dear brother Connor. And next to him, Leia, hanging on his arm, behaving like a couple on a romantic stroll. The sight makes my heart ache. She was supposed to be my fiancée, but it is Sophie who notices me first. And a smile blooms on her usually reserved face. Since our first meeting, she hasn't seen me, and certainly didn't expect to run into me here. Leia looks at me with contempt. She has already decided everything for herself, no matter how strong I might be. I am still just a swordsman. I cannot rise on my own. Only Connor is truly the strongest. Rare class, high talent, support from a powerful faction. His path to the top is only a matter of time. I look straight through Leia as though she isn't there and address Connor. "What are you doing here?" Connor is silent. Sophie answers, with a light smile. "Business?" The clan elder took him to broaden his horizons. Seeing that Sophie is speaking to me, Leia immediately intervenes. "Lady Sophie, let's hurry. If someone sees us next to a trash swordsman, we'll become a laughingstock." Sophie's face instantly turns cold. "Shut up, Connor. Rein in the woman you brought. She's getting on my nerves." Connor lowers his head, apologizes to Sophie, tugs Leia's sleeve, and hisses through his teeth. "I told you not to come. You insisted. If you offend Lady Sophie, you'll regret it." Leia flinches and falls silent, but she still mutters under her breath, "Well, what is there to say to a trash swordsman?" I no longer intend to waste time on them and turn to leave, and then someone calls out to me, "Young man, wait." From behind the others steps the elderly mage in black robes. Mentor Damien, the strongest in this group. He strokes his beard, studying me carefully. This young man is unusual. His aura is unmistakably second rank. He speaks with deep admiration. Sophie's face shows surprise. The first time she saw me, I was first rank level 18. Only a few days have passed, and I am already second rank? The speed of growth is simply impossible. Connor looks at me in shock. He cannot understand how I am developing so quickly on my own. He himself had to swallow a mountain of pills to reach first rank level 90. He is beginning to suspect perhaps there is a powerful patron behind me. This worries even me. The old man can see my rank at a single glance. I need to hide my aura more carefully. I ask Damien how he determined it. "Your aura is extremely dense," he answers simply. "It would be difficult not to notice." In his eyes is the gaze of someone who values talent. He asks if I would like to join the Aurelius clan. I sink into silent contemplation. From this moment, I need to control my aura. Not let it leak so freely, otherwise any experienced eye will read my cards. I politely refuse Mentor Damien. I tell him I prefer freedom. Any attachment weighs on me. Connor quietly exhales in relief. Leia snorts softly. Ungrateful fool. My refusal disappoints Sophie. Such a gifted person. And the Aurelius clan cannot obtain him. A pity. But Damien does not dwell on the loss. Instead, with a good-natured smile, he asks why I am alone in these parts. Whether I got lost. I neither deny nor confirm. I say I navigate quite well. And sword flight allows me to cover great distances without trouble. Understanding lights up Sophie's face. So that's why he is alone. Probably got separated from his group and got lost. Grandfather Damien, let's give him a map, she says. Damien takes a map from his storage ring and tosses it to me. I catch it and accept it without hesitation. With a map inside the dungeon, it is incomparably better than stumbling blindly. It will save a lot of time. I clasp my fist to my chest in gratitude. and look at Sophie. No need to thank me, she smiles. It's just a map. I hope we meet again. Damien, seeing my low level, kindly advises me to get out of here quickly. They head deeper into the valley. Connor and Leia throw a glance over their shoulders. Cold, distant. I frown. They're heading to the Bone Mountains? I open the map. I search for another location, with this map acting as a navigator. I no longer have to wander. The Aurelius clan is truly generous. Giving something like this to a stranger? Not a small thing. I find the boss I need. Myrmec's king. Several dozen kilometers from Bone Valley. A second-rank monster, level 99. One step away from third rank. A key elite boss. Without delay, I fly toward the location. I summon the Flame King's blade. I unleash Descent of 10,000 Blades. A chopping strike from above. In an instant, the ants covering the ground are cleaved in half. Streams of energy and equipment scatter across the earth. The very next moment, the ground shakes. From underground bursts a figure the size of a small hill, and looks down at me. It surveys the bodies of its kin. Rage boils up inside it. Sensing that my strength is below his, rage overflows. This is the most powerful second-rank boss, one step from third rank, and someone has come seeking death. I look at the gigantic ant, Myrmec's king, second rank, level 99. It lowers a pillar-like arm with crushing force. I raise my sword to block. But the monstrous strength drives me into the ground up to my waist. I call Descent of 10,000 Blades, trying to sever its arm. The king swiftly withdraws the limb and watches me warily. I tear myself from the ground. I leap onto my sword. I soar upward. The king is stunned. How can a second-rank nobody fly? But there is no fear. It crouches and leaps into the sky, jaws opening to swallow me whole. Suddenly, a burst of raw energy erupts from my body, slams the king back to the ground. The beast is shocked to its core. How could someone who had barely crossed the threshold of second rank repel him? Dance of the Sword Demon has already been activated. My power rages. The pressure around me thickens the air. The king's eyes darken. It senses something fateful is approaching. A strike that could take its life. It tries to burrow underground. But I give it no chance. A single colossal strike. Descent of 10,000 Blades. Myrmec's king, this boss the size of a hill, is split in two. The elite second-rank boss falls on the spot. My level rises to second rank, level 60. I examine the loot. A full spectrum of equipment, one orange item and one white. The white is exactly what I need, just not sword heart. It isn't here, but a gray item catches my eye. A skill book. 1000 Moon Blade art. My eyes light up. Skill books are almost impossible to find on the open market. Each one costs a fortune. With my passive talent capable of evolving them into high-rank abilities, this trip has already paid for itself. I only need to refine it. But at that moment, a pillar of light shoots into the sky in the distance. From the direction of Bone Valley, my heart sinks. Trouble with the Aureliuses? I forget about refining the book. I leap onto my sword and fly toward them at full speed. They helped me, and my brother is there. Deep in Bone Valley, a fierce battle rages. Thousands of skeleton servants attack a golden barrier from all sides. Bone General, nearly 100 meters tall, grim as a mountain, brings down its enormous bone blade. Every strike shakes the earth. The entire valley trembles. Mentor Damien chants a spell. Golden light emanates from him, his face pale as he maintains the massive barrier. He never expected Bone General to level up. From level 90 to 99, exceeding his capabilities. Worse still, the wave of skeletons' skills strengthened, now summoning even higher-ranked skeletons. Connor frantically holds back the skeletons. He shouts, demanding a plan. If they don't leave immediately, they will all die. "Connor, save me!" Leia wails beside him, with weak strength barely holding her own opponents. "I don't want to die!" Even Sophie's face is whiter than chalk. She has never been in a life-or-death situation before. Endless skeletons hammer at the barrier. The Mountain General brings down his blade again and again. It looks like the end of the world. Sophie's attacks barely scratch the skeletons. Their bodies are thick and sturdy. After the General leveled up, every servant he summons is now second rank. With every swing, hundreds more, thousands of skeletons. All 5 are trapped, with no path of retreat. Damien sighs heavily. "Lady Sophie, forgive me. I never should have brought you here. Even at the cost of this old life, I will get you out of here." "Grandfather, use anything! Now!" Leia screams desperately, no longer remembering that she is speaking to a member of the Aurelius clan. "The barrier is about to collapse!" Sophie shoots Leia a furious glare, and bitterly regrets ever bringing her along. Damien makes his decision. He will burn his own life force. A brief flash of enormous power. The only way out. Red flame rises along Damien's body. It burns without heat. Devours flesh. Devours life. Tears stream down Sophie's cheeks. She cannot stop this. Connor watches with a grim, complicated expression. He never thought this old man would give his life for them. And then, a strange sound comes from outside the valley. Everyone turns toward the source, and freezes. Even Damien, the strongest among them, eyes wide, face frozen in shock. From the mouth of the valley erupts a colossal blade of sword energy. Behind it, another, and another, one after another. Wherever the sword energy passes, skeletons crumble to dust. The blades multiply, cross in the sky, eclipse the sun, fill the entire valley with raging sword force. In the silver storm of blades, a figure riding a long sword, carried by the wind. An appearance beyond mortal, like a god descended. Everyone is speechless. When did Ghost Forest gain such a master? Damien has lived most of his life, fought in countless battles, But he has never seen anything like this. Not a single swordsman with such power. Then a shocked cry. Sword God! It's the Sword God who cleared Flame Ridge. Connor remembers this image all too well. The power of the Sword God is unforgettable. Seeing it up close takes one's breath away. Sophie watches the figure with awe. What luck! To encounter the Sword God in action. It is just like at Flame Ridge, only the Sword God seems even stronger than before. Sword energy floods the sky. The skeleton army is swept away in an instant. The figure approaches. Everyone holds their breath, frantically trying to make out the Sword God's face. And when they finally see, shock pins them in place. It is him, Leon. Damien's body begins to tremble. The very same young man I advised to get out while he still could. Connor shakes from head to toe. Why should the Sword God be his own brother? Does that mean he has been losing from the very beginning? Leia's pupils contract. She cannot believe that I am the renowned Sword God. She recalls the timeline. The Sword God first appeared exactly the day after the engagement was broken. A venomous gaze pierces her. Is he doing this on purpose to humiliate me? It really is him. Sophie covers her mouth with her hand. She suspected from the first meeting. And now? Confirmed. The others are stunned. They remember. His power was only second rank. How can he possess such devastating might? Damien laughs bitterly. I've grown old. Lost my mind. Couldn't recognize greatness when it stood before me. Advised the Sword God to leave while he still could. Seeing that they are saved, he immediately stops the life sacrifice. I enter the valley. My gaze is locked on Bone General. Now I understand why Damien couldn't hold. The General leveled up. But since it evolved, the drop chance should have increased. The chance of obtaining Sword Heart has risen. I unleash Descent of 10,000 Blades. In this moment, I am like a god, riding a gigantic sword, thousands of energy blades swirling around me. They all merge into one. 100-meter strike. Below, Sophie looks at me with shining eyes, unbearably cool. Damien hurriedly reinforces the barrier, protecting the others from the collision wave. With a short exhale, the gigantic blade pierces space, crashing down on Bone General. Smaller blades around it multiply, eclipsing even the skeleton army in number. The 100-meter general is shattered in a single strike. Its body cracks. The mythic Flame King's blade in my hands is incomparably more powerful than any old white sword. With the platinum set, total attack in the thousands. One strike removes a third of the general's health. The visual power of this movement is simply overwhelming. Sophie has seen strong abilities, but a swordsman technique of this level. The first time. Connor looks crushed, almost in despair. My power destroys everything he believed in. Damien watches in stupefaction, again and again. My power exceeds his expectations. Magnificent. In all his life he has seen countless geniuses. But someone like this? Never. Bone General, who drove them to the brink of death, is now clearly exhausted. It can no longer summon servants. It only defends. Even its last advantage, its enormous health pool, melts under the ceaseless rain of sword energy. The General roars in fury. It only just leveled up. And it is already dying here? It refuses to accept it. In a single instant, blinding white light explodes from the cracks in the General's skull. Its entire body erupts with an explosion of energy. And I am thrown back. I frown. How can a boss on the verge of death still do something like this? Instantly, Sophie covers her mouth, gasping in fright. Why did it become even stronger? Damien looks at the General. His thoughts are in turmoil. In his eyes, a flash of the impossible. This is bad. It is evolving into a third-rank boss. Bone General radiates blinding white light. A second moon in the sky. It illuminates the space for miles around. Layers of flesh slowly grow over the white bones. Blood-red skin manifests with frightening clarity. The sight paralyzes everyone present. My face becomes serious. Pressure bears down from above. Bone General now lacks visible bones. In their place, red tissue as though flayed skin. A sight beyond grotesque. Damien frowns, puzzled. Why no skin? According to the rules, when Bone General reaches third rank, it should become a 100-meter blue giant. But before us is a red giant of raw flesh. A thought pierces him. It did not complete its evolution. Only halfway. A half step into third rank. Damien's eyes light up. So that's it. Third rank. You don't cross it so easily. Even humans need special items. Monsters even more so. Without the necessary item, the General cannot truly enter third rank. It is stuck halfway. Damien shakes his head again and again in amazement. And yet, even halfway, the General is far beyond second rank. Even sacrificing my life, I couldn't have scratched it. Half-step enhancement, strength, speed, agility, all skyrocketed. Health restored from 0 in an instant. Everything we did before, reset to nothing. Connor's legs buckle. He sits on the ground. God, what terrible luck. It evolved. Leia's face is ashen. Words fail her. Sophie pales. In fear, she tugs Damien's sleeve. Grandfather Damien, do you think the Sword God can defeat it? Damien answers with a heavy expression. It's hard to say. Even if the General hasn't fully entered third rank, it already has one foot there. This is far beyond what any second rank can withstand. The Sword God is strong, but he is still second rank. He may not survive. Sophie's heart sinks. She looks at me with despair. Are we still going to die here? But my face, though serious, shows almost no anxiety. I did not foresee the General's breakthrough, but inside me a fierce battle hunger ignites, fighting an opponent who has almost reached third rank. Exactly what I dreamed of. I push all my skills to maximum. Dance of the Sword Demon. At full power. Energy inside surges to unprecedented heights. The General looks at me with cold eyes, even without having fully entered third rank. It is not someone a second-rank novice should test. The general grabs its nearly 100-meter blade and brings it crashing down. A strike capable of splitting mountains. I raise my sword to meet it, with all my strength. But the monstrous power drives me into the ground. A crack runs across the earth for kilometers. Damien's face turns white. One strike, only one. And all hope is shattered, no matter how great the sword god is. Fighting across rank boundaries is impossible. He is dozens of levels below the boss, and the boss is also halfway into 3rd rank. This time we won't be saved. Underground. The sensation that every bone in my body is cracking. For the first time, I receive such a crushing blow. I drag myself from the ground. I rise into the sky. The moment Sophie sees me, her heart leaps in her chest. The sword god is alive. He can still fight. I unleash Descent of 10,000 Blades once more, concentrating all power into a single 100-meter giant blade. The energy radiating from it is monstrous. The smallest servants nearby crumble to dust from a single touch. If not for Damien's barrier, the others would have been blown away by the backlash. I direct the gigantic sword straight at the boss. The general smiles coldly, raises its blade to meet it. Two hurricane-like forces collide, an explosion at the central point. Everything within 1,000 meters is erased. Nearby servants are ground into pure energy. Blinding light. Below, the others squint through the barrier. Sophie's heart clenches. She prays silently. Leia, broken by the terror of death, screams into the sky. Leon, you have to win. I don't want to die here. I swear, if we get out, I'll marry you. Connor looks at Leia with poison in his eyes. Eternal opportunist jumping to the winner. Deep disgust. He has long since decided to break the engagement as soon as he returns. But right now, the most important thing is his brother's battle. The one that will decide whether they all live or die. By this point, I have reached my limit. Even with all active bonuses, the gap between me and a half-3rd rank boss is enormous. The general fights easily, as though drawing from a bottomless well. Not a trace of fatigue. In the end, the collision of forces ends in my defeat. I am hurled away like a deflated ball, and crash into the top of a hill. The general breathes heavily. It won, but lost more than half its energy. The amazement in its eyes cannot be hidden. No one at half its rank has ever fought it on equal terms. This thought flashes through it, and killing intent instantly surges. This one cannot be left alive. A little more growth, and its own death will be inevitable. The general walks toward me, step by step, preparing to swallow me whole, to end the threat once and for all. Damien smiles bitterly. We lost after all. He has lived long. He meets death calmly, but the only thing he regrets. Bringing Sophie here. So young. To die in this place. Originally, the path led somewhere completely different. Only in passing. The general might have been easy prey, or so it seemed. He miscalculated, and now an innocent life will pay for it. The general lifts my broken body. It opens its blood-red maw, preparing to swallow. Sophie screams in despair. No! But I have no strength left. I can only watch as it consumes me. And then in my ears, a voice. Learned. 1,000 Moonblade art. My body does not move, but the moment I hear the words, I answer without a fraction of a second's doubt. Learn. Hidden class activated. Immortal Swordsman passive. Infinite Blade intent. 1,000 Moonblade art has evolved into one blade. Sealed throat. Active effect. Lethal strike released in absolute silence. Destroys every enemy within a 10-meter radius. My mind fades. But the words imprint perfectly. This is clearly an assassination skill. It has weaknesses. Limited radius. But while the boss drags me closer, this is exactly what I need. I wait. The moment it gets close enough, I will strike. Catch it completely off guard. Connor trembles all over. His brother is about to be eaten by a monster, right before his eyes, and he can do nothing, no matter how much he envied his brother's power and status. In the end, they share the same blood. In a moment like this, family comes first. Leia howls like a madwoman, the terror of death having completely broken her. Anyone save me! Whoever gets me out of here, I'll marry him! Sophie's fingers clutch Damien's sleeve with trembling hands, her small face panicked. Grandfather Damien, please save him! Damien shakes his head bitterly. I can't. There are too many bone soldiers around. If I move, the barrier will collapse. We'll be overwhelmed in seconds. There's no time. So we just watch him die? Tears stand in Sophie's eyes. In them. A flash of Damien's resolve. There is no other way. Again. This disaster is my mistake. No need to drag innocence along. If anyone is to die, let it be me. Red flame rises along his body once more. He has already said goodbye to life. And at that moment, a deafening sound comes from afar. Everyone turns toward the source. Bone General has collapsed. Its head has been severed from its body. Death instantaneous and gruesome. I somehow rise. I look at the General's wide-open dead eyes. I feel a thrill at the power of the new ability. In the very last instant before being swallowed, I activated one blade. Sealed throat. A blade of impossible sharpness appeared in absolute silence. Imperceptible. The General never noticed the threat until it was too late. Killed without a single moment of resistance. I exhale in relief. Good that I picked up that skill book earlier. Otherwise, the end. One blade. Sealed throat is magnificent. It kills without a whisper, though it has a range limitation. Everyone exchanges stunned glances. They don't understand what happened. No one saw the strike. Did this young man do it? But they didn't notice any movement. Maybe someone else is helping them. Damien is in turmoil. Did he have hidden trump cards? With Bone General's death, the skeleton army crumbles and retreats like a receding tide. I stand. I examine the loot around the boss's body. A colorful scatter. Loot from a maximally powered elite second rank boss. Exceptionally valuable. Even the weakest of what dropped is blue rank. But what pleases me most is a special white item. Sword Heart. Exactly what I came for. I snatch it instantly. Along with everything else. Sword Heart. Everything to me. My abilities are already at a destructive level. After their evolution, the damage will go beyond imagination. Below, Damien clasps his hands and bows deeply. Thank you, young man, for saving our lives. These old eyes failed me. I could not recognize the renowned sword god. The Aurelius clan will definitely repay this kindness. His sincerity is genuine. Every person in their heart bows before true power. Without me, 9 out of 10, they would have died here. Sophie looks at me with admiration and smiles openly. Thank you, sword god, for saving our lives. Connor and Leia are silent. It is unclear what is going through their heads. I glance over them and say nothing. I just happened to be nearby, and the map. Consider it repayment of a debt. No need to thank me. I turn to Damien. We'll meet again if fate allows. I leap onto my sword and vanish before anyone can react. The moment I disappear from view, Sophie turns an icy gaze on Leia. Connor, take her. Out of my sight. Connor himself has long grown tired of this woman. She only brings problems. Every time she is near. Life becomes shorter. The decision was made long ago. The engagement will be broken upon return. I'm sorry, Lady Sophie. I'm taking her. With a grim face, he walks toward Leia, ignoring all her complaints and hysterics. As Connor leads Leia away, Sophie turns to Damien. Mentor Damien, we need to hurry. Operation Devil's Triangle must begin soon. After leaving Bone Valley, I find a quiet place. I sit. Under moonlight, I study Sword Heart. I refine it immediately. Class exclusive items cost a fortune. Even though Swordsman is an unpopular class, its exclusive items are priceless. Everyone knows, Swordsman is a gold-devouring beast. Exclusive items are a huge expense. Only top factions can raise a truly qualified swordsman. A swordsman with his exclusive item is many times stronger than equals of his class. Practically invincible within his profession. After refining the heart, I open the stat panel. Name, Leon. Class, Swordsman. Rank, 2nd. Level, 60. Endurance, 300 plus 300. Strength, 250 plus 250. Intelligence, 120 plus 150. Agility, 110 plus 150. Skills, Descent of 10,000 Blades. 10 Directions Intent. Sword Flight. Infinite Sword Force. Dance of the Sword Demon. 1 blade. Sealed Throat. Infinite Blade Intent. Increased to level 2. Unlocked. Path of the Sword Mastery. Sword Heart. Increases damage of all Path of the Sword skills. Armor penetration plus 20%. I stare at the stats in shock. I never thought refining the heart would double every value. All indicators. Literally twice what they were before. That is why exclusive items are so coveted, with doubled stats. The feeling that I have truly unfolded. Incomparable power flows through my body. This surge raises my cultivation by 10 full levels. And I find myself at 2nd rank, level 70. Shocked again. Do exclusive items also give leveling? Double result for half the effort. The higher the rank, the slower the growth. And yet, one item raised me 10 levels. Now it is clear why they are hunted so fiercely. And one more thing. Infinite Blade Intent increased in level. How did a passive rise in level? Then I quickly piece it together. I've been using skills non-stop. The passive activated with every use. After the slaughter through the entire Ghost Forest. Thousands of activations. Each repetition made it smoother, more natural. After absorbing the exclusive item, the passive reached a critical threshold. And broke through. Even more surprising, I obtained Path of the Sword Mastery. This is not just attack enhancement, also plus 20% armor penetration. I circulate energy. Several white blades of sword energy appear beside me simultaneously. They respond to my will with instantaneous precision. As though they are part of myself. A slight movement. And one blade shoots forward, cleaving a huge tree in half. Cutting sharpness, destructive power, a wave of exhilaration. Mastery is truly amazing. The damage of Path of the Sword skills was already terrifying. With this enhancement, what boss could still stand? And now that sword energy obeys me far more freely, wide area Descent of 10,000 Blades requires almost only thought. While others are still chanting spells and waiting for cooldowns, my strikes have already reached their target. One Sword Heart raised overall power by more than half. I begin thinking where I can level as fast as possible. I open Damien's map. My gaze immediately fixes on one point. Center of Ghost Forest. Devil's Triangle. The fastest way to level. Tempering oneself in life and death battles. This is the most central zone of the outer Ghost Forest. The strongest entity inside. A boss on the threshold of 3rd rank. Flame Wraith. The strongest of bosses below 3rd rank. Solo or in a small group. No one can defeat it. Only the combined forces of several great houses or a guild conglomerate. But if I slaughter all the monsters inside and reach the level cap, that should be enough. I soar on my sword. Fly toward Devil's Triangle. Along the way. I kill bosses that appear. My level rises from 2nd rank, level 60, to 2nd rank, level 60. I stop. I shake my head. Only 60. And the leveling speed is already this low. I cannot imagine what it will be like further on. Through all cleared boss zones, monsters by the hundreds of thousands, and all the experience from them, only 10 levels. No wonder most get stuck at second rank forever. They simply cannot break out. The leveling speed is negligible. You kill monsters with difficulty. And the experience is a pittance. Only top factions can raise truly strong individuals. Ordinary families, no hope. Even risking your life won't achieve it. I am deeply grateful that my awakened talent provides enhancement and wide area damage. Bosses and minions. In batches. Otherwise, killing one by one. I would never have leveled. That is exactly why mages are valued everywhere. Their attacks are area of effect. They clear maps and crowds with lightning speed. This thought brings a smirk at my own gift. Great talent. The foundation of any success. And then, a stern voice cuts through the air nearby. Hey, what are you smirking about?